Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys had a fantastic day today off with only one game. Didn't do a video for Showdown, just kind of pointless with no James Harden, no Kawhi Leonard. Probably one of the worst Showdown slates you could possibly play, in my opinion. So we are back. We got a massive slate tomorrow. We got a 9 game slate, which is good to see. I like those like 6 to 9 games. I think it's like the good sweet spot for me. Somewhere in between that, 7, 8 games, I think is best. For you guys that don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make NBA DFS content. All these videos, they get posted to a subreddit. I'll have that link down below where I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. Very important to check that out because stuff does change from these videos. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Twitter right here. I also post sportsbook plays on here from time to time as well. All right, let's get into my lineups from the past 2 days. And if you're looking for more in-depth content, I will always have my Discord link down below. So let's go to my lineups from past 2 days. Just look at that one. All right, this was yesterday. I don't know how I didn't cash. I really don't. I don't think there I had no busts in my lineup. I don't think there was any like nuke chalk that went off. Besides, okay, I guess Jokic's dropping 90, but like I still had what? Yeah, that kind of hurt me. But in my other lineup that scored similar, I had Nick Claxton that scored 50 something at what, 5.4K? I guess Jarace Walker is what did me in. I guess that's the reason I bubbled. I mean, I was what, a couple points. Yeah, pretty much bubble. Yeah, it was Jarace, I think, and no Jokic. That's what did me in. So yeah, didn't cash yesterday, as you can see my lineup here. Jaylen Brown lost the entire fourth quarter. That was unfortunate. Trey Murphy, man, I don't know. Amen, really good play at low ownership, and then I chalk around the two low owned plays in Amen, Jaylen Brown, which is typically how I like to play. Find a couple pivots, eat some chalk that you think is good, especially in single entry type contests. Alright, so this is my lineup from 2 days ago, or one of my lineups. Went okay. Played Giddey, Jordan Poole, Herb Jones, Miles, Musa, Fears, Concanople, Trey Murphy. So in this lineup, I got different. I faded 60% owned Looney. I played somewhat low owned Herb Jones. This was only, I believe, the 4 game slate, so like ownership was a bit condensed. Low owned Poole, he was terrible. I saw it coming. Concanople was big at 30%, and then my other lineup. Similar thing here. I did play Looney in this one. This lineup actually did better, I believe. I forget what the score was, but as you can see, once again, I played Con, I played Miles, I played Trey, I played Giddey, just made like a couple pivots. And was able to cash both my lineups the other night. Alright, we got a nice, like I said, nice slate here. So let's just jump right in. I'll try to get us out of here in under 20 minutes or so. Let me close some tabs. Alright, Boston. So we know what Boston's going to do, right? Pritchard picked up 2 quick fouls. I wouldn't read too much into the first quarter minutes or his minutes in general. Plus the game blew out. We know what they're going to do. Ketta's going to play like 22 to 24 minutes. Simons, whole play, I don't know, 25-ish minutes. Jaylen Brown, big minutes. Josh Minott, whole play, 25-ish minutes. And then the bench, they'll just play like Hauser and Hugo off the bench pretty much. But, you guys know I like ball handlers going up against Orlando. So I would say Derek White is probably in the best spot here. Orlando really, really tough against three-point shooting, which is what Boston's identity is. They like to chuck threes. But still, the usage is just unreal between the top 3 guys, especially Jaylen Brown. So I'm not going to rule out any of these guys due to the matchup. Actually, I can rule out Simons, even though he's only 4.5K, which probably makes him in play. I hate the spot for him. I hate the spot for Hauser. I think I'm mainly only interested in like Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard. I don't think they're amazing plays. Derek White has been just broken this year. I'm going to keep saying it until he has a good game. I don't know what's going on with him. Shot volume way down the last couple games. The ball handling has gone up, so like maybe he's just being a little bit less aggressive. I just can't hit the broadside of a barn, man. So yeah, maybe some interest in like the top three guys. I think if we're not looking at matchup here, Jaylen Brown would be my favorite. He's pretty much the only one I trust. But yeah, tough, tough, tough. All right, moving on to Orlando. So Boston, matchup wise, should be pretty good for mostly everyone here. They have been good in the paint. They've been a very good paint defense, but I think that's been a little bit of an outlier. So, looking at the price points, I'm going to continue to say it. And he had these two massive games here. I think this is another spot where we could get Wendell Carter Jr. at 5% ownership playing. And by the way, he lost 4 minutes due to blowout in this game. So he was on pace for 34 minutes. Lost to foul trouble and blowout in this game. Lost a little bit of minutes. I believe he picked up some early fouls and some blowout, I believe. But he's been on pace to play low 30s minutes every single game, which is a completely different role than he's had in years past on Orlando. Matchup's fine. Like I said, paint defense for Boston's been good, but I think it's a little bit of an outlier. So I like Wendell Carter Jr. in tournaments. Paolo is always my favorite option if I am going to any of these guys. Desmond Bane, he's been almost as bad as Derek White. Franz Wagner, they're fine. I don't think there's really any amazing plays for me to get to in this first game, to be honest. All right, let's take a look at Cleveland. So they have everybody back. DeAndre Hunter is probable as well, so he'll slide in for Jalen Tyson. Yeah, we know what Cleveland's going to do with the rotation, so I don't think we have to go over that. So with everybody healthy, this is a really good spot. Really, really good. Garland's going to remain on a limit, most likely, so I can't go there. DeAndre Hunter, I would say, is overpriced with everybody back. I love this spot for Jared Allen. His usage isn't going to take a hit with everybody healthy, and I don't think too many people are going to be into him tomorrow. So I think Jared Allen is actually a pretty good tournament play to me. And then Donovan Mitchell, always in play for me. With Garland back, he's going to take a hit usage-wise, but he did drop 46 points on my Sixers with him back, but always in play for me. Would have preferred everybody's still out, but fine. And then Mobley's in a great spot, but I wish he was a little bit cheaper, to be honest, with everyone back. I think my favorite play here is probably Jared Allen. All right, let's move on to Washington. We have Koulibaly is out. So, I would imagine, just Bubs? Wait, they have Chris Middleton back. So, Sar, Keyshawn, CJ, Chris Middleton, Bub would be my guess. Or they can keep Champagnie, and do Bub off the bench again. So we'll have to see on that. Yeah, really tough matchup. I think analysis is always just like, I think my main interest is in Sar and Keyshawn, but I'm not running to roster either of them in this spot going up against Cleveland. There's blowout risk. It's a really bad matchup. What else? You're also missing Koulibaly, which is massive. Champagnie's not playing enough minutes. What else? Bub, you can make the argument for at 4K. Chris Middleton at 5.1, but the role's been declining. Minutes declining, so not really too excited about much in these first two games, to be honest. But we're going to get into some juicy games coming up. Now we have Toronto versus Atlanta. All right, we know with Toronto, the main guys are just going to play a lot. We have Pirtle back. I would imagine he's still going to be on a low 20s minute limit. That makes CMB and Sandro Mamukelashvili out of play for me. And I think going up against Atlanta, they're going to get away from that double big lineup they did with CMB and Sandro. So I think only one of them will probably play, or they'll only play one of them on the court at a time. But doesn't matter. They're not playable to me. All right, yeah, given the spot, I think Brandon Ingram's probably my favorite at 7.5K. Just trying to figure out who on this team is going to have the massive game is really troublesome for me. Quickly at 6.2K, I think is a really good play. Just stuffing this stat sheet, price point too cheap in my opinion. I don't think it's a bad spot in general either. Minutes should be really good in a competitive game too. So I think Quickly, I would say Quickly is probably my favorite play. Then Brandon Ingram, then Scotty, then RJ Barrett. But no must for me here. All right, let's move on to Atlanta. This is a great spot for pretty much everybody. So with Trae Young out, I love Jalen Johnson at 8.8K. Doing everything for this team, great rebounder, doing a ton of ball handling. I mean, just checks all the boxes, good spot. Love Jalen Johnson. I think Dyson Daniels is in a really good spot. He scores most of his points in the paint. Toronto, they've been horrific in the paint, so I think Dyson is firmly in play at 7.1K, which was a little bit cheaper. Kristaps Porzingis in a really good spot at 6.7K. She'll play close to 30 minutes. as long as he stays out of foul trouble. I think he's too cheap, like him quite a bit. Nikhil's fine at 6.1K. I think that's it for me. I don't think I'm going to get to the value. I'm sure we'll have better value opening up. All right, let's move on to Detroit. Tobias Harris is going to remain out for this game, so the rotation last game without Tobias Harris. Last two games, Isaiah Stewart's played a lot, and the starters just playing a ton. That's mainly it. Ron Holland off of the bench is what you'll see. All right, yeah, Cade, I think, is one of my more favorite spend-ups on the slate at 10.4K, him, Giannis. So, really good play if you're going there. Brooklyn, they can't stop anyone. The team's just an absolute joke. So I'm really into Cade. Price point has gone up, though. Duran's been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I would have preferred him if Stewart wasn't starting. So if they change up the lineup here and we get like a Ron Holland start, I think that boosts Duran a ton, and then I'd be really, really interested. But I think more so price. It's still a good play, though. He's just been incredible. Ozer at 6.3K, I think is really solid. Like him quite a bit, point per dollar. Stewart's fine. What else do we have here? Ron Holland, I think, is pretty good value. Roll's going to be really, really good off the bench if he starts. Even better, just minutes ceiling way higher. So I actually do think there's a good amount to like on Detroit. And I think there's a good amount to like here on Brooklyn, although they're not in a good spot here. Terrence Mann is probable. Keep that in mind as well. So starters should be Michael Porter Jr., Nick Claxton, Mann, Tyrese Martin. Who am I missing here? MPJ, Claxton, Mann, Tyrese Martin. Who am I missing? MPJ, Mann. Oh, it's been Clowney. Yeah. So MPJ, Claxton, Mann, Clowney, Tyrese Martin should be the starters. So with that being said, I think Tyrese Martin is a really good value. He played a ton in the second half, like an absolute ton. It's terrible because I had his unders. It was an error line that the sportsbook left up, and Cam Thomas got injured 5 minutes into the game. So he's a really good value. I think Mann's a really good value. Claxton, his role, kind of similar to Wendell Carter Jr., has been much more secure this year. I think he's a good point per dollar play. Get ready for Michael Porter Jr. to just chuck up 30 shots tomorrow. He's going to be popular. Really, really solid. Clowney, I think I'd rather get to like Martin. I think that's it. Zaire played a good amount at 3.8K, but I think I'd prefer the top guys. All right, let's move on to Houston. Tough spot here going up against the Spurs, but Amen Thompson, man, one of my favorite players in the league. I'm gonna say he's a good play every single slate. Just the role is just so good for him. Doing a ton of ball handling, really good play. We also have Steven Adams on the injury report as well. That boosts Amen Thompson quite a bit. So if Adams is out once again here, I think Amen 8.3K price is getting rough, but going to be low owned because of that. I'm into it. Sengun is fine. Tough spot going up against Victor Wembanyama. Kevin Durant, I haven't played KD once this year. I don't think I will tomorrow. And then Jabari is solid. We don't have a ton of value on this slate as it stands. It's fine. All right, let's move on to the Spurs. Nice to see that we had Sochan back last game. He actually had a good game in his limited minutes. 16 points, 2 rebounds, 0 assists. But yeah, Wemby's great. Has had 2 very lackluster games, but outliers. Always going to be a great spend up. Always going to project as one of the best spend ups on the board. What else? Castle. Everyone else is just like there for me. This team, I hate this team outside of Wemby for DFS purposes. I love them for just basketball purposes, but I think it's mainly just Wemby for me. All right, here we go. This is a game we're definitely going to need at least some interest in if LaMelo Ball is out, and on the Miami side as well. So if LaMelo Ball is out once again here, I think Khan, Miami, they give up 3-point shooting. I like Khan quite a bit. I still think he's too cheap. Miles Bridges would be a fantastic spend up. Kalkbrenner's been great of late. I don't mind him. Mann would be in play, but wish he'd be a little bit cheaper. Sion, if you want to go there, it's okay, but more of a large field tournament play for me. I think that's it. Let's move on to the Miami side. All right, Tyler Herro, Bam Adebayo out. So, Khalil Ware should start in a great matchup going up against Charlotte. Love him at 5.6K. Just going to be a usage monster. Great rebounder. Has double-double upside. The spot's really good. Should have a lot more secure minutes. Hopefully, if Spo doesn't get mad at him and just benches him. It's always possible, though. Andrew Wiggins, I think, looks great. Really like Norm Powell. Jamie, you can make the argument for. Sure, why not? Davion at 5.5K. Solid to me. Jovic will have to play more. Pele Larson is even playable. So I think there's going to be a lot of good plays in this Miami game for sure. And the good thing with Miami is they're playing extremely, extremely fast this year. Alrighty, so Davis is doubtful for tomorrow. So the good thing with Dallas is the usage is going to revolve around P.J. Washington and Cooper Flagg, and these two are playing a ton of minutes game, and this is a solid spot for them as well. I really liked Cooper Flagg yesterday. I believe he had a really good game. I think he did. Yeah, 43 fantasy points. I really like him once again in tournaments here. I'm not going to say no if you want to play PJ. I'd rather just go to Cooper Flagg though. D'Lo chalk, if he every time D'Lo's chalk, I'm just not gonna play it. He was low owned last game. Stop starting Flagg at point. I guess just keep D'Lo in the starting lineup. I don't know what to do, but I'm never playing chalk D'Lo. Gafford, I still think is way too cheap at $5,000. Should play 25. Could uptick his minutes to like 27, 28. So he's solid. A little bit of a tougher spot compared to everyone else, but really like Gafford. Christie's too pricey. Najee will play low to mid 20s minutes off the bench. You definitely could do worse for value there. All right, let's move on to Memphis. Let me just close all of these. I think we're good on rotations. All right, Memphis, this is a great spot. Dallas, they can't defend anyone right now. So I know John Morant's been the weird cryptic messages, all that spot, but if this was ever a John Morant spot, it's going up against Dallas. So I love John Morant tomorrow in tournaments. I think Jaren is fine. Santi Aldama is still priced right. Play Coward more, man. Just please play him more. Get him to like low 30s minutes. I wish he was cheaper, but play him more. I think that's it. It's mainly just John Morant. Some interesting Coward, and then Jaren is always fine. All right, moving on to Chicago. I think Giddey's going to be extremely, extremely popular tomorrow. I think it's for good reason, though. I think he has one of the best roles right now in the league for his price point at his price, and I think he deserves probably all the ownership that he's probably going to get tomorrow. And if he's low owned tomorrow, I'm probably going to slam him because I think he's a phenomenal play right now. So really into Giddey. Vooch at 8K. I like the spot better last game, but he's fine. I'd always prefer getting up to Josh Giddey if you can. Matas, it's just okay. And then Trey Jones is super safe to me. If Io's out, you can make the argument for like Patrick Williams. If no more value opens up, it's okay. And then Kevin Huerter. All right, yeah, Giannis, fantastic. Love the spot here for Miles Turner. If this was ever a spot where he's finally going to have a good game, I think it's this spot. Going up against Vooch drop coverage. I think both the centers should be in good spots, especially because they shoot three-point shots. Should both see drop coverage. So I'm into them. Rollins is fine. I think that's mainly it. So it's just Giannis, Miles Turner, Rollins for me. All right, Utah, tough spot here going up against Minnesota. And then Walker Kessler is still out. So Nurk going to start. Been great. Can't hit a shot. Now he's going up against Rudy Gobert. So I'm going to say if he's going to come in chalky, I'm fine taking an underweight stance to him. Now that his price point's up to 6.3K in this spot. Keep an eye on Collier. He's been available, but just hasn't played. If he plays, that's going to hurt Keontae a little bit. Mark's clear number one on this team. What else? I think that's it. I think Keontae's probably my favorite play. And then Minnesota. We got word that Ant wasn't going to be on a limit yesterday. He looked terrific, just out of practice, which is going to happen. I can't play Ant. I feel like Utah is going to trap him as well. So I'm out on Ant. I think Dante's in a great spot, but wish he was a little bit cheaper. I think Rudy Gobert is in a great spot with no Walker Kessler, so I'm into him. And I think that's probably it for me. If you think Ant's still hindered, Randall for sure. I don't mind that. All right, that's going to do it for the slate. I hope you guys had a great day off today, and I will talk to you all on Reddit.